Hi, I'm Todd Wente, and this is the Daily 180 180 seconds of motivation and inspiration intended to help you take action and make progress in your life. This is episode 703 of the Daily 180, and it's kind of an interesting one for me. Over the last little while, I have talked about different lessons that I have learned, different things that have been made more clear to me as time has gone on. And some of the lessons that I've learned, they're repeated lessons. Somebody at one time told me that until we learn the lesson, we're doomed to repeat it. Or maybe they said destined. I can't remember for sure. But the idea being that unless you really learn a lesson, you're probably going to repeat it. That may be true. And in fact, in the situation that I'm dealing with right now, I'm not sure that it's doomed to repeat it. I think it's just simply a lesson that pops up on a regular basis every now and again when we need to see it. Let me describe the situation and see if I can make some sense out of this. I'm in the middle of teaching a class, and I have a student who has asked me if actually they didn't ask me. They just submitted information and said, I'd like to resubmit on this particular assignment based on the feedback that you gave." And The student did extremely well in the first place. Was not a poor grade by any stretch of the imagination. But the student decided that they wanted a better grade, so they resubmitted based on the feedback. Now, normally with assignments, I'm all about allowing for extra points, an extra opportunity to be able to submit and try again after the feedback. But in this particular never done that. I've never even considered it. I've seen it in a very different light. And so I initially my response was, well, this particular assignment is not really one where it's allowed to resubmit. And then I started thinking to myself, how much courage must that have taken to have seen something and said, I've been told this, I've been given this information, I've got an opportunity to retry. Maybe I'll retry. How much courage would that have taken? Probably a significant amount. If not a significant amount, at least a large enough amount that it would have been, for the student, a challenge. Um, I don't know if they were doing it just because they want the better grade, because they see themselves as anything less than perfect is a failure, or if they're just trying to master the material, or if they're just trying to make sure that they are demonstrating that they really understand I don't know what their motivation is, I can presume. But as I was watching that, I was thinking to myself, that's really interesting. And I was reminded of a lesson that I had learned years and years and years ago. And that lesson was, if you never ask, the answer is always no. I don't know that I live by that very often. There are a lot of things in my life where I do ask, where I do try, where I take an effort, where I take a shot, right? Michael Jordan is famous for saying, "You miss 100% of the shots you don't take." And so as I was looking at this, I was thinking to myself, well, I wonder, what would it hurt to allow this student the opportunity to resubmit? So I told the student, "I'll look at your stuff. I'll consider it." But what I'm considering even more is whether or not I should, as an instructor, put some barriers around that, put some boundaries around that, and say these are allowed and these are not. But in my own personal life, I'm wondering, what things have I missed the opportunity to ask about, that maybe if I had asked, I would have gotten different results? I think for myself, and maybe for most of us, we bump up against after we reach a certain age, we reach a certain point, and we have enough experience with people just pushing back, we stop pushing forward. And I think the difference between those who are ultimately very successful in life and get the things that they want, and the rest of society, is their willingness to come up against that wall and push a little bit more. So I don't know that I've got an answer. I don't know that I'm giving a call to action or a takeaway on this one, except that the next time that you've got a situation and you kind of feel like you really wish it would be this way, but it doesn't seem like it's going that way, what does it hurt to ask? And ask the question. I tell my students all the time, the beginning of wisdom is asking a question. And if we are hesitant in asking questions, we're probably not going to get the results that we want. So I guess if there is a call to action today, it's ask a different question, especially when you come up against what appears to be a no. I hope this is useful. If it has been, give us a thumbs up and let us know in the chat. If it's not, that's fine too. Share this with somebody that might find it useful, because we are on our march to try and gather 1,000 viewers, and uh, a goal for the month of August and see what we can do. But we're on our march to try and see if we can get 1,000 viewers. In the meantime, thank you for your time. Thank you for your attention. And as I always say, this has been the Daily 180. My name is Todd Wente. Nullum Diem. We'll see you next time.